Right now on Denver 7 News at 6, the governor taking action statewide as huge wildfires burn out of control.
I'm Eric Lufer. A statewide fire ban set to take effect tomorrow. I'll let you know what it entails.
And chilling images. Our first look at the suspects in an arson that killed 5 members of one Denver family.
Also, back on campus and already battling coronavirus cases, why CU Boulder is pinning its hopes on a simple test to keep students in class.
Plus, making it official.
Delaware is proud to cast its 32 votes for our favorite son and our next president.
Our friend, Delaware, Joe Biden.
Across the nation, Democrats get behind Joe Biden's bid for president. We're taking a 360 look at night 2 of the Democratic National Convention.
All online this year. Good morning and welcome to Denver 7 News at 6. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. It's a Denver 7 Weather Action Day. We have some poor air quality up and down the Front Range. Meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo joins us. And Lisa, we're also coming off a day of triple-digit temperatures.
And we're also looking at a risk of severe weather. So a lot happening, and we'd love to get a little bit of rain. It'd be really nice. Right now, though, we're looking at a risk that could turn a little stronger. Some of those storms could produce some larger hail, damaging winds. And you're right, we're going to see another warm one. We are looking at still some hazy skies, a number of alerts. I'll show you those alerts coming up. But here's a look at your emoji cast. Low to mid 70s by about 8 o'clock. We're going to hit 88 by noon and then 94 this afternoon with that chance for a few isolated storms. Not every neighborhood's going to see it, but we will get some building clouds, and it would briefly help to cool things off, which would be nice. More triple-digit heat anticipated on the western slope. Really hot for spots like Grand Junction. Mid to upper 90s out across the eastern plains. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll be tracking the storms that will pop up both today and tomorrow. Plus, I'll show you how long it's going to stay this hot. It's a pretty warm 7-day forecast. Jason?
And it's pretty hot on the roadways right now. We have a bunch of problems going on. And we'll start with the big crash up to the north side of town along I-25, the southbound lanes. Take a look from the camera there at 84th Avenue, where you see now 3 lanes blocked, the express lane, the left lane, and the center lane. And it would surprise me when we saw the initial crash. It looked like there were a bunch of cars in there. And then we have 4 officers all surrounding the scene. And then one of them just blocked up the express lane, forcing all traffic in just that right lane. So traffic is backed up pretty significantly, as you can see on the map right now, all the way back to 104th Avenue. So 25 to 30 minutes already because one lane is getting through. And you see that other red spot here on I-70. That's from a semi that was broken down on the westbound side right near Colorado Boulevard, backing up traffic to now Quebec. So some big trouble spots, and then construction-related slowing down in the Gap project. That northbound side is pretty busy as well.
Thank you, Jason. This morning, Colorado firefighters are gearing up to battle 4 major wildfires burning in our state right now. The Pine Gulch fire on the western slope is now the 3rd largest on record in Colorado. It's affecting an area close to 88,000 acres. That's a little less than the size of Denver. The National Weather Service in Grand Junction says it's even affecting the weather. It's contributing to cloud growth in the area, and that's caused flashes of lightning, which is what sparked the fire in the first place. Meanwhile, the Grizzly Creek fire is growing near Glenwood Canyon. It started more than a week ago. This morning, I-70 is still shut down between Glenwood Springs and Gypsum. The Cameron Peak fire in northern Colorado is affecting an area of about 20 square miles close to Rocky Mountain National Park. And the Williams Fork fire burned through 10 square miles in Grand County. Emergency crews say the Williams Fork fire was caused by human activity.
Emergency crews are now saying that Colorado is so hot and dry right now, there's real concern that another fire could spark as well. Denver 7's Eric Lufer joins us, and Eric, the governor is taking action. We're going to see some changes by tomorrow morning.
Absolutely. When it goes into effect tomorrow morning, it's going to effectively ban any open flames with the exception of barbecue grills, other allowed grills, and fire pits. Now, this executive order will last 30 days. It comes just a few days after Governor Jared Polis visited incident command centers for the Pine Gulch and Grizzly Creek fires. He met with emergency responders and Coloradans working to fight these fires and support the affected communities. The governor also talked about how these fires just compound the issues of the pandemic we're all facing.
Wildfires add strain to our already burdened healthcare resources, can provide supply disruptions for PPE or testing equipment. Critical first responders are sometimes diverted and also require testing. as more people are understandably and rightfully getting tested because poor air quality can often cause COVID-like symptoms, respiratory issues.
And of course, we can't forget about the cost of these fires, right? According to the Colorado Department of Public Safety, Colorado has spent around $10.5 million so far on 9 state wildland fire suppression costs, which does not include money the state pays local agencies before it becomes
Right now, some parts of Rocky Mountain National Park are also closed as the Cameron Peak fire creeps closer. As this map shows, the fire is just a few miles from the north edge of the park. Staff shut multiple campgrounds down and more than a dozen trails. The Alpine Visitor Center is also closed because of air quality concerns. Emergency crews are setting fire lines north of the park to try and burn up fuel and stop the wildfire's advance.
When there is an evacuation notice or pre-evacuation notice, many cities and counties will use their emergency alert system to let you know. And while landline phones are often called automatically, you do have to register your cell phone. So we've made it easy for you to sign up. We posted a list of how to register for emergency alerts in 10 counties and several cities on the denverchannel.com and on the Denver 7 News app.
2 weeks ago exactly, a Denver family was killed in a house fire. Jibril Dial, his wife, his daughter, his sister, and baby niece all died in the fire. Police believe it was intentionally set. Denver 7's Micah Smith joins us live this morning. And Micah, police are releasing some new information about people they suspect are involved in the murders.
Nicole, we're getting our first look at newly released photos from Denver investigators of 3 suspects who they say are involved in setting this deadly fire. That fire was set on August 5th at 2:30 in the morning, and police say those suspects got away in a dark-colored sedan. Now investigators are asking for your help. Come take a look at this picture. They need tips on who is behind these masks and got away in this car. Crime Stoppers is offering a $14,000 reward for information leading to the suspects. Jibril Dial, his wife, his daughter, sister, and niece all died in the fire. 3 more victims were able to escape the flames by jumping out of a second-story window. The family immigrated to Denver from Senegal. Since their deaths, a GoFundMe was set up to raise money to send their bodies back home for burial. And as of this morning, the GoFundMe has raised more than $188,000, that is. If you have any information on who may be responsible for this crime, you can remain anonymous by calling Crime Stoppers. That phone number is 720-913-STOP. Reporting live in Green Valley Ranch, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
Micah, new from overnight, a burglary, reports of a shooting, and a short police chase ended with a crash right into an Arvada home. This is video of the aftermath of that crash. Police say a home was burglarized and the suspects also stole a car out front. When police caught up with them, there was a chase and then the juvenile suspects crashed. Police found guns in the car. No injuries were reported.
6:08 is your time. Joe Biden was formally nominated as the Democratic candidate for president last night. He will officially accept the nomination at the close of the Democratic National Convention tomorrow. This morning, we continue our 360 coverage of the DNC, drawing your attention to some of the most notable moments from night 2. One of the most talked about moments was this video showing Joe Biden's friendship with the late Republican Senator John McCain. McCain's wife, Cindy, narrated the video titled An Unlikely Friendship. It demonstrated how Biden and McCain were willing to reach across the aisle and compromise on legislation. 2 former presidents also spoke last night, Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton, who focused on leadership.
He has been my loyal and dedicated friend. Joe has the experience, character, and decency to bring us together and restore America's greatness. We deserve a...
At a time like this, the Oval Office should be a command center. Instead, it's a storm center. There's only chaos.
Whatever else is next, leadership.
Meanwhile, the night wrapped up with a speech from Biden's wife, Jill, who's a longtime teacher, and she gave her speech from a Delaware high school classroom, drawing attention to the struggles parents and students are facing right now.
Across this country, educators, parents, first responders, Americans of all walks of life are putting their shoulders back, fighting for each other. We haven't given up. We just need leadership worthy of our nation, worthy of you, honest leadership to bring us back together, to recover from this pandemic.
Meanwhile, last night, President Trump arrived back at Joint Base Andrews after visiting Arizona, where he reviewed the progress on the border wall. And during his speech, he attacked Biden, saying Biden would unleash a flood of illegal immigration like the world has never seen. Meanwhile, you can count on us to continue our 360 coverage tonight for night 3 of the DNC. Speakers will include Barack Obama and Biden's running mate Kamala Harris. You can also watch the coverage live on our streaming apps for Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.
We're learning 6 CU Boulder students have tested positive for coronavirus. The university's move-in day was Monday. Those students are now in quarantine and classes are still scheduled to start on time.
As our state battles the coronavirus pandemic, Governor Polis is praising Colorado for doing its part to help stop the spread. The 3-day average on the percentage of COVID tests coming back positive has hit a low point this week. Yesterday, the state did confirm 261 new cases. Our total now stands above 53,000. 245 hospital beds are in use due to the virus, and that is close to the lowest number we've seen since the pandemic began.
Despite the economic downturn, stocks are reaching new records. Why your 401k is doing fine while many Main Street businesses struggle. Plus, Parker neighbors are living in a work-from-home nightmare. Why their efforts to speed up their internet connection are going nowhere fast. Lisa?